I don't know if you guys are picking this up, but this dude understands a loop in the matrix. If you guys are looking for ways to be able to make money and you're looking at service-based businesses and you're like, damn, I gotta, get a skill and then a whole bunch of other skills and then do all this work marketing and doing sales and then delivering the value, like you could just skip all of that. Just get your credit straight, get funding, then go buy a product that someone else already made, or not even have to buy it, lease it, and then have a passive income stream and do that as many times as you want.
Yep.
Think about it. Like, imagine what that will do for you, your family, your network, like literally everybody involved in your life. It will completely change your life. Hey, what's up? My name is Nick Matei, and this is the Digital Enlightenment podcast where we showcase people who are in their between 18 and young 30s who are already in their careers, who are basically a example of what people who are just getting into either digital marketing or online business or entrepreneurialism in general. And yeah, today is the first episode that we're doing, and I got a good friend here named Liandry Suarez. We met about a little bit over a month ago in a business networking group, which is great. If you're not utilizing those, I highly suggest it. He basically got my service, I'm getting his service, and we're both referring people to each other. So it's really great to be able to make these connections. Now we're going to be recording a conversation and building our networks together. So yeah, what's up, Leandry? Thank you for coming on the podcast.
It's an honor to be a first guest, Nick. I appreciate it. Picking me. So
it's an honor for you to be the first guest too.
Thank you. And everything is good on my side. Want me to introduce myself?
Yeah, sure. So basically I just want to know, who are you, what do you do, and how long you've been doing it?
So my name is Liandry Suarez, and I'm a licensed financial coach. So I specialize in teaching people how to create generational wealth through credit repair, credit building, and infinite banking. And I've been in financial services a little bit since 2019. So right before the pandemic got started, I got licensed to help families, and I'm based out of New York, but I'm licensed in about 10 different states. So the goal is to get licensed in every state so I can help everybody.
That's what's up. So, and how long did you say you're doing that for?
Since 2019.
Since 2019. And why did you get into it specifically?
So I got into finances because in 2017, I had brain surgery and I couldn't walk. I couldn't really move or I couldn't really speak. And during that time, medical bills are expensive. So, while I was in the hospital, my mother was taking care of me and she went bankrupt. And, I lost the job I had. I lost my car. I lost everything. So I got into finances because I said, through my services, I can help prevent that for families. That God forbid if anything happens to you, because we never expected, me to have brain surgery. I was supposed to be I was gonna go pro boxing before I got injured.
Wow.
And I saw how finance, like the families next to me used to say things like, I can afford treatment. And that would break my heart. So I got into finances so I could help families make sure that they're always protected no matter what happens.
Wow, that's a crazy story. That's amazing. It's funny. You have a lot of similarities with my father. You're from Brooklyn, and then my father was born in Brooklyn, and my father was a professional boxer. So yeah, but that's a crazy story. I'm sorry that you went through that, and I'm glad that you didn't just let that destroy your life, and that you took your mess and turned it into basically your message. That's amazing.
That's the point. Thank you, Nick.
Awesome, dude. That's crazy. So yeah, then were you did you want to be an entrepreneur before all that happened, or that was the catalyst that made that happen?
So honestly, no. I always knew I wanted to do something like a business, because my grandmother does real estate.
Okay.
She does it here in the Dominican Republic. So I always knew I wanted to do something to make some extra cash, but I wanted to be a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I became a probation officer because it was, they called me first. The pay was better, so I did that for the city of New York. And while I did that, I got my notary license. I got my license to the credit. I got my license to infinite banking. So just during my time as a probation officer, I saw how you could do so much more. Because I got tired of working 9 to 5 every single day. Because it's tiring. Like, I just had a son. You know, I want to spend time with them. You know, my grandfather he was a sick man. So I would spend most of my time taking care of him. And I knew with my job, I couldn't be there every single day. So that's when I knew I had to do something else. I had to get free of, corporate America because I'm working 9 to 5. I had no time for myself. I was stressed every single day. So that's when I knew, like, I was able to quit my job and do this full time because now I can do speaking events. So I work with foster agencies in New York where I'll teach the foster kids financial literacy. So that's like my 9 to 5 without a contract because I still get to run my business all day.
Yeah.
But that's when I knew I had to, do something else.
That's amazing. Not only, it's not like you were just struggling, like you literally couldn't even walk. Like you were like below kind of zero. And then you had to take yourself back to just normal. And then now you're able to get here. And how many years was that a process of?
So I had my first surgery in December of 2017. It took my cranium out. So I had the whole right side gone.
Wow.
And then I got it back about 3 months later. And then it took me until about a year to be able to run again, to, go to the gym. Because when I got out of the hospital, I was trying to work out every single day. So it took about a year. But then, to fully go above the level, about 2 years.
Wow, that's amazing. It's so crazy how fast that you can make progress, especially when you're in a position where most people can't even imagine.
You gotta push through.
Yeah.
Because I had a stroke, I had a seizure during that time. I had my girlfriend, now wife, clean me because I couldn't clean myself.
Oh my God.
And I was going to college, and I was embarrassed. The girlfriend that I've only been with for 2 years is cleaning me. I'm a grown ass man wearing diapers.
Wow.
I can't move. What is this?
But that's how you know she's a ride or die. If she could go through that with you, then she'll go through anything with you. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
I'm grateful that you have that type of experience.
I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. So basically, you're already kind of talking about it, but my next question for you is like, how has mindset been a factor in your entrepreneurial journey?
So, and this is for everybody, whether you're an entrepreneur or not an entrepreneur, you have to want more for yourself. Like, you and I, before this recording, we spoke about manifestation. And that's a powerful thing. Like, I write in my notes, I have a manifesto. Every morning, I write myself a message, my goals. I ask myself at the end of the day, how was today? What could we do better? Because you should want more for yourself. Because honestly, I was told I was going to die. And when they told me I was going to at least make it, they told me you're going to be a vegetable. You can collect disability. And I was like, nah, I don't want to collect disability. I want to work. I want to persevere. So whether you're an entrepreneur or not, you have to want more for yourself. And if you are an entrepreneur, go after it. There's so many services out there. Listen, YouTube Academy. You can go the power of technology, like you said. Technology is a powerful thing. That even if you don't, go to YouTube and you want to pay services, there's some mentors out there that are amazing. So invest in yourself.
Exactly.
Because everything is mindset. If I want more, I'm gonna get it. I paid in mentorship at least $10,000.
Me too. Multiple. $30,000 for something that you do and that you got for like $4,000. But still, I'm grateful that I spent that money, because I'm way better off knowing this information than if I wasn't. So I agree. 100%, yeah.
That's why you should want more for yourself and invest in yourself.
Exactly. And that brings me to my next question is like, what particular skills do you think have been the best to help you reach the point that you are as a business owner, as an entrepreneur?
You need patience.
Patience?
Patience is the number one thing you need as an entrepreneur. And you could hold me to that because my brother is my business partner. it gives me headaches. My wife is the CEO of my company. And when you work with people, whether they're family or not, you need patience because things won't happen right away.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for almost 5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't make money in my business until maybe year 3.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have times where you're like, I told myself, because I also run a vending machine business.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself, like, yo, I'm going to quit this stuff. This is not hitting.
Mm-hmm.
But now I got machines. I caught my break, but that's because, I want to work for myself. So you need patience. Because the work you do when no one's looking is the work that counts.
Exactly. So you basically said a soft skill. That kind of, for me, is like more of a mindset trait. I'm talking about more like hard skills. So like, what are the actual things that you needed to learn as a business owner? Did you need to learn marketing, sales, value
So
delivery?
you need to learn how to bring value to people. Because a lot of times people want to sell a service, like for example, my little sister wants to do nails.
Mm-hmm.
And I got her, I set up a little LLC, I got everything, but the issue is you try to bring value. What makes you different than everybody else?
Mm-hmm.
There's credit repair companies in every block. They drop like cockroaches because a lot of times they take you up in competition because what value do you bring that I don't?
Mm-hmm.
We need to learn how to bring value to customers because they say, wow, I remember this person. Like, for example, you, Nick, the value you brought to the services you're giving me are amazing. And I want, so everybody to know this. I picked the wrong domain name like an idiot. And Nick, he's been amazing to me.
Thank you.
Where the value you bring in, I've had someone do my website before and they treated me like shit. Pardon my language. But it's the fact that, you're bringing value to me because you're working with me. I'll send you emails with the people who respond and you answer to me. So, just to promote you a little bit there, but it's the
This is
value
not a
you bring
paid
to me.
promotion.
Yeah, it's not a paid promotion. But it's the value you bring. Because if you bring no value, then what's the point? You're not gonna win. You're
Thank
not
you.
gonna sell anything.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not in the business of just treating each customer as a number. I'm in the business of treating each customer or each person that I'm working with as someone who I could build a long-term relationship with because you could pay for advertising, you could post content on social media, and that's all great. Or you could go and door knock, you could cold call, cold email, but leveraging other people's networks is honestly the best way to be able to promote your business. That's exactly what we're doing right here, right now with this podcast. I'm going to put this on my channel. You could put this on your channel, and it's evergreen. We could continually push the value that we're providing through each other's networks. So business, yeah, that takes care of the financial part of life, but it's not the most important part of life, even though it's really important. But what's way more fulfilling is having great relationships that that you could count on and that you could help solve each other's problems. So that's the way that I go about business.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
100%. I agree with you.
Yep. And to, edify you as well, you also start first with value. So if anybody is thinking about, taking Liandry on as a credit repair person or anything to do with finances, he basically, he'll consult you for free and have your first month for free as well. So we'll drop the link to what he's doing in the description at the end of this podcast. But aside from that, we actually are helping each other for absolutely free. Actually, he paid for my initial service, but we did a lot of add-on services that I usually don't even provide for people in general because it's not part of my business model. But we're just adding as much value as we could to each other just because we know that it's going to be a beneficial long-term relationship, whether it's through business or just, personal life.
100%. But I thought I paid promotion either. So.
All right. So that actually takes me to my next question. Like what technology has given you the most leverage as an entrepreneur?
Zoom.
Zoom?
Does that one count?
Yeah, it does.
Because So, for example, I used to meet people in person,
Mm-hmm.
but then, people got, worried about the pandemic and people getting sick. And my grandfather was older, so I didn't feel too comfortable going outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, through Zoom, we get to do this podcast. Because before, you would have to meet in person and rent a place out and all of that. But also, I get to meet multiple clients in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I save so much time traveling that, like, for example, after this, I have about 4 meetings for the day,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all back to back.
Yeah.
That I can do all through Zoom.
You don't even have to
And
leave
this
your
gives me
house.
the ability to, no, my
Mm-hmm.
kid is sleeping, my wife is with him. The train, I'm going to go, the train sucks.
Mm-hmm. I could
If
only
I used to do in
imagine.
person, I will get late sometimes because I don't want to drive because then I waste money on gas and tolls.
And then that also could
So,
get backed up too, I bet.
yeah, traffic is no control of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Zoom is number one here.
Okay. Yeah. So a big thing about me, we never had this conversation, but a huge idea that I want to get put out into the world and through the digital space is the relationship of time, energy, attention in relationship to making money. So a lot of people, they're very not leveraged or unoptimized when it comes to their relationship to time, energy, and attention when it comes to making money. And you just set a perfect example. Like you literally don't even have to leave your house, and that's what's so great about the digital era. We could literally be connected with people all over the world, like you said, back to back to back to back, and not have to continually even switch platforms. You could just literally get out of this and then go to your calendar and then click the next Zoom meeting. So it's all that's what it's about because we don't need to in this era of the digital enlightenment to make it so that we have to make it harder for ourselves. So that was a great example. Mm-hmm. And then, all right, so now I want to know more about like what it is that you do. You gave a little snippet of what it is that you do, but like, what are the actual services that you touched upon? Credit repair, uh, infinite banking. Do you want to go more into like what goes into all that?
Of course. So my main service is now the credit repair and the infinite banking.
Mm-hmm.
Because with credit repair, what we do is about my first month is free because I want to for you to see results and then I charge. So with credit repair, I do also credit building because the goal is to get you enough to a credit score enough where you can qualify for a home, so you can qualify for a car. Because I've had a bunch of clients that tell me, hey, what do I do? I can't qualify for a home, but I have the cash. So it still makes it difficult for them. So with credit repair, you're not in a situation, we can fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm part of a team. We have at least 20 people on the team that we can fix it. Because at the end of the day, what we'll do is we also include a funding package in our credit repair.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say, for example, you want to get your credit repaired and you also want funding. After ideally 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
we can get you funding.
Are you
But the
saying
goal is
funding?
to,
Sorry to cut you off. Are you saying funding as like personal funding or business funding?
both.
Okay.
But people mostly come for personal funding
Mm-hmm.
because they'll want to, like, I guess, for example, liquidate credit, where we taught one client how she was able to stack up her credit, liquidate it, and then she bought an asset with that.
Mm-hmm.
So part of our services is we tell us our goals. That's why, like Nick said, our first initial meeting is free because I want to know your goals. I want to know what value I can bring to you. So whether you want personal or funding, we will get you to that number. And then with infinite banking, what we do is I teach people how to protect their money. Because Nick, how would you feel if you got all that funding and then something happens to it and now you have to go pay the debt back?
I'll tell you this the same answer that I told you the first time that we talked. I would literally cry.
I would lay silent, I would cry. So what we do is after with infinite banking, I teach you how to protect your money because it's called there's a certain tax codes that allow you to grow your money tax free and withdraw it tax free, which you can borrow from yourself and actually buy assets. So with infinite banking, whether you want income protection to make sure that you can always pay off your debt, or if you want income protection so you can, for example, we had one client who lost her job,
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to do nails as a profession. So she borrowed from her in her policy, at the end of the day, it is life insurance.
Yeah.
But it's life insurance with a high cash value component, where the money grows at a rate that most accounts don't. So she was able to borrow from herself, fund her business, and actually be able to, not have to return to get a job. Because we taught her how to get the funding, dump it into her policy, and then use the policy to pay off the debt. With the interest, just pay herself.
And not only that, but the funding is kind of has a stop loss almost because it's an index funds, correct?
Yeah, so you guarantee not to lose money because you have a floor level. So, for example, with my services, your floor level is 0.75. So the market is negative 12%. You stick at 0.75, so you will never lose money because that only increases. How come my money doesn't?
Yeah, because we're
So
not in the
that's why
gold standard anymore.
Exactly. I just you want to grow your money to make sure that you will never run out of it. So that way you can grow your wealth, protect your wealth, and never run out of money.
That's awesome. I had another question too. I don't remember, but so that's basically everything that you do.
Yeah, so those are my two main services.
Okay.
Besides that, I have the vending machine stuff.
Yeah.
But the services, finances, because the goal is to get you to your dream home.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people have the credit, but they don't have the cash.
That was my question. So say that people have the credit. How fast have you seen some people get their funding with good credit and implementing the things that you're talking about?
So with great credit, it depends. So I have for example, let's say you go to Navy Federal, you go to Univest, and you go to Truist. What I would do is to encash people when they don't have cash. I will show them how to get the credit cards from those banks, dump it into their policy so they can start with cash value. So, for example, let's say you dump about 40,000, you can get up to access to 80% of your money within the first 30 days. So, for example, we helped a client last month. They had no cash. Their credit was amazing though. They, I think they had like an 825, and he was like, "Yo, I want to buy a home, but I have no cash." So we went to those three banks. We dumped that into his policy, and after 30 days, he was able to take the loan against himself, to borrow against himself, and put a down payment on the home.
Wow, that's crazy. Within 30 days?
30 days. But ideally, what I tell people is, let's be smart. I'd rather you accumulate the cash value and then liquidate the credit to you to buy the home. And then use your cash value to pay off the credit cards. So now you did the down payment, your cards are zero, and you get the reward points from the credit cards. So now you can use the reward points to buy more stuff.
Wow, that's crazy. And what do other people invest in besides just homes? Like I know that some people invest in like cars for Turo, to put cars up to be able to have people rent them out.
Turo is huge right now, and a lot of people, for example, with Turo, what you can do is a place called Swap Lease. That with Swap Lease, instead of you paying the whole thing, like buying the whole car, you can just get the lease from someone.
Wow.
So with this, you can live with the credit. So, for example, Navy Federal is one of my favorite banks. And I teach people how to get in there because there's a certain script you have to say to get in. So with Navy Fed, I teach people my favorite place to live with the credit card, pay for the swap of the lease, because you pay small fees like the title to exchange.
Yeah.
The lease goes under your name. So with swap lease, you can live with the credit, buy the car, and then put it on Turo. Because most people are going to ask you for maybe $6,000-$7,000. You can get that right now.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are picking this up, but this dude understands a loop in the matrix. If you guys are looking for ways to be able to make money and you're looking at service-based businesses and you're like, damn, I gotta, get a skill and then a whole bunch of other skills and then do all this work marketing and doing sales and then delivering the value, like you could just skip all of that. Just get your credit straight, get funding, then go buy a product that someone else already made, or not even have to buy it, lease it, and then have a passive income stream and do that as many times as you want.
Yep.
Think about it. Like, imagine what that will do for you, your family, your network, like literally everybody involved in your life. It will completely change your life. So
Completely.
talk about
Imagine having
value.
5 cars on Toro.
What's that?
Imagine having 5 cars on
Yeah.
Toro.
And
Or you could put them on hire car, which Uber will also pay you directly. So instead of you having to wait for people to rent the car out,
mhm.
you go directly to Uber. Uber, DoorDash, or I think Grubhub as well,
Mhm.
they'll pay you directly for you to use the car.
Okay.
So either way, you're gonna get paid.
Yeah, you're taking what would be considered a liability and you're turning it into assets. So not only do you get a sick car, but then you have an ability to make money with it, and it's not taking money out of your pocket.
Exactly, because it's paying itself off.
Yep, that's
So
awesome.
either way, even if you, for example, let's say you decide to do this play where you will look at the credit, you will then buy the asset. Right there and then, I will get myself a policy directly just for Turo.
Hmm.
That if God forbid anything happens to the car, instead of you having to liquidate more credit, you can just borrow from yourself and fix the car. Like the guy I have, he said it. He's like, yo, how fast can I borrow from my car? I said, took him 30 days. He
Wow,
got new tires. He put new paint job. Because he
hooked
was like,
himself
yo, I
up.
already maxed out the credit cards. I liquidated them. I don't want to profit more credit. So I was like, okay. I told him how to call his policy. He got a check in 2 days. And he went, he deposited it, and he fixed the cars. So instead of charging, I think he charged like $200,
Hmm.
now he charges $400. Because with his policy, he was able to, borrow for himself, not relying on no banks, and just fix up the cars. Because you can buy them crappy too.
And
And
then,
if you're smart, fix them up.
so you said something there that maybe not a lot of people will catch. He increased the amount that he's renting the car out so he could pay back what he borrowed to himself faster. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you know all the loopholes. This is crazy. If you guys are interested, where is it that they could find your service?
So you can find me on Instagram at Liandry Suarez Enterprises. And soon you can find me on my website, liandrysuarezenterprises.org.
Okay, that will soon means like literally today as we're putting this up because I'm doing
Yeah.
his site for him, and so it doesn't matter. Like it will be up by the time that this video is uploaded. So how do you spell that?
LIANDRYSUAREZ Enterprises.
Okay. And the link will be in the description as well. Do you have anything else that you want to say, or like any other messages that you want to give the audience before we shut this out?
Listen, if you ever want to create generational wealth, there's a million techniques that the rich know, but we don't. Because, coming from a poor income, not making anything, and being here now, it will be my privilege to make sure that I can change the life of family any way I can.
Okay. Actually, you give me two books that you given me for free. What are the names of those two books?
So, Money, Wealth, and Life, and then the Retirement Miracle.
Okay. And that basically explains a lot of the stuff that you're explaining here.
Yes, it'll teach you how to borrow from yourself, how to create your value, how to be able to take that on, how to be able to become your own banking system. It explains everything.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being my first guest on my podcast. I think that this was an amazing way to start. Yeah, like I said before, guys, what this whole thing is about is helping people who are just getting into entrepreneurialism, getting into the digital space. We're going to have a wide array of guests from all different angles, all different industries, all different positions, so that you can see a full view of all the options that you could get into for building wealth for yourself and your family. So, welcome to the Digital Enlightenment podcast, and thank you for watching. All right, thank you.